Welcome to the audio ministry of Nanda Flora Williams. She is a speaker, author, psalmist, and coach. As you listen, be inspired, motivated, and challenged.
Hello everyone, welcome to Treasures for Living. We're continuing our series on attraction and chemistry. Genesis 39, and I'm reading the King James. It says, "And it came to pass," verse 10, "as she spoke to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her." He refused to listen to her. He refused. Oh, he refused. Well, even though we're talking about a woman, it can be the other way around, it can be a man. You know, day after day, he's buying you nice gifts. He's concerned about you. He's calling you. What does he want? What does he want? Especially when now your body chemistry is just, it's just clicking. It's clicking. And sometimes we can lie to ourselves. We need to identify it when it starts. Yeah. Oh, he's just been he's just been helpful. It's different when you have come to a place where you're looking at maybe walking in a relationship or you've prayed for one, and then there's a process as Christians. If you're a Christian, there's a process to follow. There's a way to go about it, But I'm just talking about when it's not about necessarily good relationships and growing those relationships. But when you just, maybe you even have a relationship with some other person and this person has a relationship with some other person and you sort of belong to, the orchestra, or you have, you have traveled on a business meeting and you're, everybody's drinking or whatever after work and sharing drinks and spending time. And then, it's time to go to bed and you just want to have an extra bit of drink. Everybody else has left you the two of you there downstairs where you all had a meal and you're still there talking. You are definitely creating an environment for something to happen. Anyway, you're ready. You just knew from the beginning when the person started working in your office that, actually, I think I have a kind of attraction to this person. Okay, let's not play games. We need to identify things. Now, the Bible says that in verse 10, it says, "And it came to pass, as she spoke to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or be with her." Verse 11, "And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business." So he went to work, and there was none of the men of the house there with him. So Joseph was working. He just, went to work. There was nobody. When you notice these things about attraction, about chemistry between you and someone else, I'm being naughty. Do not create an environment where you are there with them alone. Do not create it. Do not allow it to happen. If you think, avoid it. Because, people have been accused of all sorts of things. They've gone to court. They've been taken to court. They've been slandered. They've been maligned. And because someone falsely accused them that they did a certain thing that did not really happen. You need to have proof. You need to have, I studied law. The evidence is required. But in this day and age with all the, issues that have happened with actors and producers and Harvey Weinstein and everything, if a woman gets up to say, "Oh, you touched me inappropriately in this part of my body," and there was nobody there, you were just with them, or a man says, "Oh, you groped him in the office," and there was nobody there, it's just the two of you, you have no proof. You're on your own. Basically, it's their word against yours. And people tend to believe more the person who comes up to say, "This is what happened to me," than the one who is actually innocent. So we have to be careful. Don't create those sets of circumstances. There's nobody there. Why are you there? Why are you there? Let's stop playing games. Let's stop letting the enemy take advantage of us. Let's stop creating environments where he can facilitate that which he wants to do. He can abuse us. He can use us. He can malign the name of Jesus Christ and the church of God. Let us be honest with ourselves and say, "Hey, look, actually, I'm not coming. It's too late. It's too early. If there's nobody, you turn up somewhere, there's nobody there, turn right around. Say, "Oh, they called me, they've had an issue." If they will not come and meet you where there are people, then God needs to sort out that issue by themselves. We need to be careful. We need to be smart. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting so heated about that. Anyway, let's go on. It says, "And she caught him," verse 12, "by his garment." She had been waiting. Usually such people are calculating. They know when, how, and what to do. It says, and she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. She repeated the same words. She was insistent. She was looking for every opportunity to get him. Well, it might be Potiphar's wife, but I'm not talking about a woman necessarily. I'm talking about a man, anybody, looking for the right opportunity, the right moment. And let's talk about this Potiphar's wife as well. So she's married to Potiphar. He's the captain of the guard of Pharaoh. He's an important man. He's a man in a position of, of authority. Why was it that except she was fueled and driven by lust, why was it that she was looking for someone else to satisfy her? I'm just wondering. Obviously, if Potiphar was the captain of the guard, I'm sure he had his own six-pack. He was, he looked awesome. He was together. He had money, he had influence, in comparison to Joseph, he must have been nothing. Why was Joseph interesting? This is my own analogy, and I may be wrong. I think she was lonely. Well, I may be wrong, but I think she was lonely. She needed a toy boy. She needed someone to occupy her time. She didn't need anything. She had servants. She went to the right parties. Doors opened for her. She had been into Pharaoh's palace. Her nails were done. Her hair was done. The man has money. He has everything. He has his jets. He has, his designer suits. He has everything. He's in a place of accomplishment. We need to be careful, even as spouses, in our relationships. When we sometimes I think Potiphar must have, this is my own analogy. I may be totally wrong. But I think Potiphar must have been a bit carried away with his work. I think he was. Because if your wife is like casting eyes, you need to take your wife on a date. You need to give her time and attention. You need to caress your wife, snug your wife, do whatever you need to do with your wife or your husband or whatever, and just spend time with them. It may not be as easy as I'm saying it, but, we need to make our time for our spouse. And I'll share a story, a very funny story. And it's happened. I remember one time counseling quite a number of people, very involved in church work, and I was doing a lot of ththings. I remember my husband came to me and he said, what about me? Something like that. He said something like, what about me? And I was like, I'm so busy. I'm trying to sort this out. Didn't really pay him any much attention. It's as I began to prepare for this podcast that I thought about it. And I realized at that time and in that season, he must have been lonely. I was just overwhelmed with work. But I did not set my priorities right. We need to set our priorities right. God first, your spouse next, your children, then your ministry. When our priorities are misaligned, when they are not in order, we will be neglecting those closest to us and making excuses, creating loopholes in our family life, in our home, in the lives of those around us that sometimes makes the enemy to take advantage of us. Eve was in the garden. She was by herself, looking at this tree and at the fruits, and she was there. She was by herself. Satan saw her by herself. Where was Adam? Where was he? So, like I said, it's not a woman thing. It's both ways. If it's the case of the man, where's the wife? Sometimes we can get so carried away in doing things, we forget the needs of those around us. And then we can fast. I love the African church. And let me pick on the Nigerian church a little bit. We will be fasting. We will be praying. We'll be so busy, so committed to ministry. But our pastor is sitting by us. They've not had any interaction. You've not spent time talking to them. You've not loved on them. But you're loving everybody else in the world. Everybody else. I remember one of the days my husband was telling me about, some people who were dying because of, terrorist attack, blah, 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 blah. I don't think I'd remembered us sitting down, going for a meal, or even sitting down at home. Sometimes you don't have a lot of money to maybe go out necessarily, but even just sitting at home and just spending time. And I said to him, what about me? And he said, he came back and said, people are dying. What did they do? And it's the same thing I did. And I was very upset. It's interesting that in those moments and in those seasons, sometimes as Christians, we just take things for granted. We just say, okay, this person is saved. They will be nice. They will always be good. They will always be around. They will be faithful. Yes, they will be. But we also we need to understand that we're flesh and blood, and we live in an earthen vessel. And because we need to do all that we need to do around us to ensure that our spouses feel loved, feel appreciated, understand. Because there are always people around us there are always situations. The enemy is just funny. He tries to take advantage. Maybe not just spouses, just friendships, just relationships. A girl is lonely, and the enemy just creates things around her and starts bringing wrong people around her. A girl is growing up. Her dad has never taken her out on a date, never told her she looks beautiful, never told her to turn around in this beautiful dress. You look gorgeous. You are awesome. You are beautiful. Never loved her with words. Suddenly someone turns up and is after just one thing, and he has the right words. He's a smooth operator. He's a smooth criminal, according to Michael Jackson. And he knows just what to do. And then we're like, how did she fall? How did she get pregnant? Did we sow the right seeds? Did we do the right thing? Did we spend enough time with our children so that they could come to a place of wholeness? So that when a strange person walks into their life, they're able to identify that this is not a relationship of quality and I should not be giving myself to you. Or maybe it's your son. The same thing. A strange woman comes into his life and she's casting, words. She's speaking to him. She's giving him all sorts of. He's not received that attention from, because we're too busy. You're working in the bank. You're working. Going to Australia. You're traveling. You're high powered. You have 3 secretaries. They have to talk to your children. Have to talk to your secretaries because you don't have time. We need to wake up. We just need to wake up and smell the coffee. So your spouse is lonely and they're around you. If I was the devil, that would be the right time.
Thank you for listening to this message. We trust that you've been blessed, encouraged, and transformed to go out and make a difference.